All right, I was just looking into this fake election writ, and so it's directed to Thomas Joseph Rogers, the Electoral Commissioner, signed from Ben Morton, Special Minister of State. Now, how election writs meant to be done is the Governor General actually gives the order for an election under the guidance of the ministers. But in this case, on this form, the Excellency General, David Hurley, is only a witness. So there's dodgy business going on there, and where there's dodgy business going on, it's always good to look at the people behind it. So let's have a bit of a look at Ben. The Honourable Ben Morton, born 1981 in Gosford, lived in the Central Coast in Wyong, completed his high school and went to university, did a Bachelor of Arts. So Morton stated that in high school he was not the most academic kid, but he still managed to make it to uni. So he got into the Australian National University in Canberra. So he went down to live in Canberra, did a Bachelor of Arts, which is one of the lowest ranking courses in uni. And then when he finished uni, his career starts as a bus driver for Dean's Bus Lines in Queanbeyan. And although it says New South Wales, Queanbeyan is basically in Canberra. It's just right on the edge of the border. Then the next year he switched jobs, went back to his hometown to work for Coastal Liner Coaches. And while he was there, in 2003, he decided to be a candidate for a seat in Wyong for the 2003 elections. And that's as a 22-year-old, so that's already a bit strange. Who would vote for a 22-year-old who's not very academic and just worked as a bus driver and come straight out of uni? I certainly wouldn't, but he was up there representing the Liberal Party, so he's already made some friends. He's been up there at uni. Who knows what circles he's got into, and they've liked him enough to select him to run for the seat in Wyong. So, what happens after that? Well, the next year, so after he lost his election, he transitioned to working as an advisor to the federal government under John Howard. So who in their right minds in the federal government would be hiring a 22-year-old? He's almost a high school dropout, and as a bus driver, has no life experience, yet he's working as an advisor to the federal government. That's already sounded a bit strange. So they're taking this guy under their wing, and I'd say that he's getting some paid training here, and who knows what dirty jobs he's doing in the background and what he's getting trained at. But anyway, he after his stint there, he runs for the 2007 seat in Wyong and loses that again. And then good old John Howard dumps him. You're not good enough for me, boy. And and he had to return to his previous profession as a bus driver for Dean's business. So you think if you're advised for the government, you'd be able to get a better job than that. But anyway, he's back at Dean's Bus Lines. So, but don't worry, it didn't last long, only lasted a year, and then he switched professions once again in 2008 to attain the position of State Director of the Liberal Party in Western Australia. So, wow. That's pretty cool. So you got this almost high school dropout, done a Bachelor of Arts, bus driver, has suddenly become a advisor of the federal government and now a state director. So he must have some talents going on in the background that we don't know about. Anyway, he's got that job for 7 years. Pretty cool. And then I'll skip a year of his life and go to the 2016 federal election. So obviously he's living in Western Australia now. And he's run against So Norton successfully ran as a Liberal candidate against sitting member Dennis Jensen, who had been disendorsed by the Liberals. And was running as an independent. So this guy's he hasn't been following the party lines. He's been disendorsed. Had to turn into an independent. And now they've got their little favourite, Ben Morton, running for the Liberals, and he actually gets through. So, if I can find this. So, as a member of Parliament, Morton votes on behalf of the division of Tangney, Western Australia. And since entering Parliament in 2016, he has always voted on party lines and never crossed the floor. So he's a good little boy and does what he's told. He's not working for the people. Now coming back, he actually had a year off between being the state director of the Liberal Party and getting elected into Parliament. He actually had a year off, bit of a working holiday, I suppose, and he worked as a senior manager at one of Australia's largest home builders, the Buckridge Group of Companies. So a senior manager, that'd pay pretty good, you'd reckon. I worked in a little company and they got paid pretty good. So let's have a quick look there. So the BGC companies were the largest home builders in Australia straight for 6 years. And BGC is one of the largest privately owned companies in Australia. So as one of the largest privately owned companies in Australia, if you're a senior manager, they'd be paying big dollars. And now we know that building companies tend to be rather large donors to political parties to be granted favours. And this seems like a bit of a payment there. Being paid above the salary cap than you would as a politician. Got 1 year in. Love to see his pay wage for that year. I bet you it's in the hundreds of thousands. So anyway, they paid him off working for the boys, and there he's in Parliament pretending to serve the people after that. Now, there's another bit of a strange thing. So he became a Minister for the Public Service and a Special Minister of State. So he's got two ministerial positions. Both began on October 2021. This is right at the end. So he only actually had 9 months in these positions. And I'd say they must have known he was going to get booted, and all right, we'll give him a bit of a promotion before he goes. But getting these promotions have enabled him to sign this faulty election writ. So yeah, so as far as I'm concerned, he's got picked. They've spotted him early on in the piece. He's become involved with something when he was in Canberra. He's become one of their little favourites. They've trained him up, got him joined the boys club, and it's been jobs for the boys ever since. And to the point where, thank you, Ben Morton, you've sold out Australia. Good job. And there you go. Something to think about.